If you're like me and almost everyone, you probably have some goals that you really want to accomplish. But what if I told you that the best way to achieve them is to actually forget them? I remember like 10 years ago I was learning to play the drums with, in my opinion, one of the best drummers in Argentina. Each class he gave me an exercise to practice that was quite simple. He then proceeded to demonstrate it so I can get the feel for it. But I don't know how or why. 2 minutes into the exercise and he was doing some crazy stuff that was blowing my mind away. When I got home and tried the exercise, I would first sit on the drums and fantasize about the possibility of me playing like my teacher. I closed my eyes and pictured myself in front of a whole stadium doing a drum solo, and the audience would just go crazy cheering my name. When I got tired of dreaming, I opened my eyes, grabbed my sticks and began doing the exercise. To my surprise, even though I was doing it correctly, I was not even close to what my teacher showed me. He was playing like 15 notes per second while I was struggling to do it correctly 4 or 5 times in a row. And after that, if I lasted 5 more minutes practicing, I would be lying to you. Several years later, I was around like 20, and after watching some YouTube videos about guys doing 10 straight muscle-ups and doing tricks on the bar, I decided I wanted to do my first muscle-up. But this time, I took a different approach. Instead of just trying to do a muscle-up for the first time and most probably fail miserably, I spent the first days doing some research on progressions and the different ways I could build my strength. And rather than spending hours imagining myself being all lean and shredded, I forgot about it and developed a gym plan that in the future would enable me not just to do one muscle up, but several. And as expected, after 2 months of constantly going to the gym, I ended up doing my first muscle up. And in 5 months, I was doing 6 in a row without a problem. And then I asked myself, what was the difference between these 2 approaches that I took with learning the drums and doing my muscle up? And I realized that when I was practicing the drums, I constantly had my goal in mind. When I wanted to do my first muscle up, on the other hand, I developed a system and forgot about my goal. A goal is defined as the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or desired result. A system, on the other hand, is the activity that you do on a regular basis that help you achieve your goals. Your goal may be to have a successful blog, for example. The system is to upload a post every Thursday. Your goal is to lose 30 pounds. The system is to go to the gym every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. The goal may be to have more energy. The system may be to change your diet and eliminate sugars. Your goal is to become the best jazz pianist in the world. The system may be to practice 5 hours every single day. Scott Adams sums it perfectly when he says, if you do something consistently, it's a system. If you're waiting to achieve something in the future, it's a goal. Now that we understand the differences between goals and systems, let's dive deep into the practical differences between them. The first one is happiness levels. Goals are, by definition, something that you haven't achieved yet. Even though this sounds obvious, it has serious consequences in your experience. By comparing your current conditions with your goals, you will always find the present moment lacking in one way or another. If my goal is to become the #1 tennis player, it's because I'm not there right now. If my goal is to weigh 170 pounds, it's because I'm too fat or too thin at the moment. On the other hand, systems are action-oriented and are not based on some future and imagined outcome. Just the fact of sticking to a system is joyful because you know that you're headed in the right direction. Also, it's more present-focused and you don't have to wait to accomplish it. You just do it every day. You're happy because you ate that salad instead of the hamburger. You're happy because you went to the gym and didn't slack off watching TV. There is a positive feedback loop that encourages you, and the more you do it, the better you feel. And the better you feel, chances are that you're going to do it tomorrow too. The second aspect is sustainability. Since goals are usually outcomes that will not occur in the near future, it's difficult to stay motivated in the long run. If I want to have a successful business but at the moment I'm not generating enough income, how can I stay encouraged to do the work that needs to be done in order to drive the company to profitability? Because the goal is so far into the future, it's difficult to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Contrarily, if I develop a system that pushes me to call, for example, 10 clients a day, it makes it easier to take action. With systems, you don't get overwhelmed by the goal because you chunk it down to manageable tasks that you have to do regularly. The third aspect is control. Even if you believe that goals are completely under our control, the truth is that there are infinite number of variables that you don't have any say in. You cannot control how your boss will act, how clients will react when they see your blog post, or what a person will do when you try to talk with him or her. However, what you can control are the actions that you take towards your goal. Instead of hoping for your readers to like your post, you just commit to writing the best piece of content you can. Instead of focusing on how much weight you were able to add to your bench press, you commit to going to the gym every day. With systems, you are 100% in charge of doing the thing. while with goals, you're at the mercy of external circumstances. Goals are not inherently bad, they are actually as necessary as systems. But how do we reconcile both of them? When you're young and you're trying to learn how to ride a bicycle, you need training wheels. Without them, your first 50 attempts will end up with your face on the ground and your knees scrapped. After a couple of days of riding with the training wheels, you're getting good. It may be a good idea to remove them in order for you to learn how to ride a bike like a grown-up. While the training wheels were necessary at the first step of the process, they become an obstacle when you advance. The same happened with goals. While goals are necessary to create a vision for the future, they don't help that much when you need to start taking action. But they can be quite useful to see if your system is working. If your goal was to lose weight and after 3 months you don't notice any change, there's a chance that the system is not working. In that case, you'll need to readjust it and check for any improvements. The answer is, as usual, not either or, but both. Here's a framework that I developed that can help you reconcile them and achieve anything that you want. Step 1 is create a goal in your mind, with a specific date and quantity. Step 2 is research and discover which is the best way to accomplish it. Step 3, develop a system. Define the activity that you will be doing every day or week that will help you achieve your goal. Step 4 is forget about the goal and stick to the system. Step 5 is check your progress with your goal every now and then and modify the system as necessary. The good news is that you can apply this formula to any area of your life that you want to improve. Call it business, relationship, meditation, or any skill that you like writing or singing. The purpose of a goal is to determine the system, and once that purpose is fulfilled, its job is done. It can be a good way to track your progress and see if you're heading in the right direction, but thinking about them often, comparing yourself to them and feeling sorry doesn't help that much. I really hope that this framework of our understanding goals and systems help you. But I believe that the most important part here is to remember, as cliche as it sounds, that it's everything about the journey, not the destination. Most of us forgo our happiness and delay it till we achieve our goals, just to realize a few months later that it has nothing to do with achieving anything. When our happiness is not restricted to the achievement of our goals, it's the moment that we are truly free to pursue them.